Get ready for some mental fireworks this week. Breakthroughs, illuminations, intuitive and psychic downloads, and messages that are going to change the way that you move forward in life. You may not see the action in the material world just yet, but you are getting puzzle pieces floating to you this week. Hey everyone, it's Christine. Welcome back to my channel and to this week's weekly energy forecast for the week of March 4th through the 10th. For any of you that are new here or returning, just a side note, I have two wiener dogs, so you may hear them slurping, you may hear them jingling or chewing on a kibble or playing with their toys. I do my best to keep that noise down, but if you hear them, that is them. So I really appreciate your patience. I live in a small apartment and there's nowhere to put them. Let's dive into this video. Happy birthday to all of my Pisceans out there. I hope you are celebrating and enjoying your month. And if you have a strong confluence of Pisces energy in your chart, I hope that is amplifying in a beautiful way for you as well. Also, take time, check in with me below. I really love connecting to you all. Community is super important, as is connection, one of my top core values in life. And I really care about how you all are doing. How is the season treating you? How has the year been treating you? We are 3 months in, but we're beginning the 3rd month. So drop your word or emoji down below. And also, I'm doing another fun giveaway for those that are interested. We have the spring equinox coming up, or the autumnal fall equinox. Wherever you are in the world, it doesn't matter. An equinox is coming. So I wanted to offer a personal reading complimentary of the next 3 months. If you're interested, drop your favorite flower down below and I'll enter you in this contest. I will announce the winner in April. Okie dokes. You guys, we're entering pre-eclipse season. I feel like we're almost feeling the energy rev up, because right now it feels like I kept seeing the image of someone in a car driving on cruise control. In other words, the speed was set. So you were driving, I wanted to say idly, but I think idle is when you don't move, but it's constant. There's a constant speed. Things are going to be slowly revving up, and you may be feeling that but not realizing why. And people are going to feel that in different ways. And one of the ways I feel like that is either through the way I process information, like talking fast, thinking you have to take action quickly. You may be feeling it in your body energetically. It could be through nerves, anxiety, and it manifests in so many different ways. Thinking on a more mental, intellectual level, I'm running out of time. I need to get all this stuff done. So in other words, things are starting to accelerate, even though they've been accelerating. It's almost nested, like one within the other. And I quickly wanted to say that and preface that because this is going to be a month for most of us of really connecting and reflecting on where things are at, what we want to do differently, and also taking into account the shitload of information that is coming through this month on how we're going to navigate the next few steps. As you've noticed, especially this year has been kind of different, and it's been weird and it's been wonky. And I think weird is a relative term, and I just use it broadly because I don't know any other word to use. So share with me below, how has this year been for you? I've connected to so many people locally as well, and even virtually, and there's just been a lot of things that are just different. And so things are coming together, but I feel like they're coming together in different ways. Reminder, as we get into the astrology here, all times are in New York City time, all times are in Eastern time, New York City time for reference. So be sure to accommodate any of these transits to your time. On March 4th, we are starting the week with very powerful insights with Mercury and Pisces sextiling Uranus and Taurus. So remember, Mercury is in its detriment and fall in Pisces, and Uranus is also in its fall in Taurus, because Taurus is about stability, longevity, and growth, and Uranus, it's about growth too, but in a different way, not so much stable, more spontaneous. We also have Mercury coming out from under the beams here at 19 degrees and separating from the sun at 14 degrees. So both of these planets, especially Mercury, are a little bit, I wanted to say shaky waters, but on shaky ground and territory. Despite that, we have the sextile. So a few things that came up for me here. There could be some difficulty in intellectualizing certain aspects of your life, especially when it comes to non-material realms. I kept getting that strongly because sometimes when we are connecting on a different realm, in a different realm, dimension, different plane in a different way than we're used to, especially in a human 3D function. It may feel off. It may feel like we're stumbling through, almost as if you're learning something new for the first time, whether it's walking, learning to drive, learning how to human, learning how to adult, whatever it is. And there could be difficulty with themes dealing with Mercury. So again, your intellect, thinking, mental capacity, stimulation, communications, travel, siblings, youth, relatives too, anything. It'll have to be relative and wherever Mercury is in your chart, but in general, these are some themes associated with this. With the sextile in Uranus, especially in Taurus, there's going to be some incoming news that you may be receiving, messages, knowings, or some type of changes, especially with regards to progressing forward. I almost think of Uranus here as a giant car that's taking the little car, Mercury, forward. And this is just abstract thinking that I'm relaying to you all. And there's something here that's related to your material security with Uranus in Taurus, and connecting that to your psychic spiritual senses with Mercury in Pisces. So a lot of insights are coming through at this time about healing, generally healing, right? Feeling better and either finding resolution or recovering from something, whether it's mental, emotional, spiritual, or physical. At the same time, we have healing energies that are supportive because the sextile is of the nature of Venus. And think about all Venusian themes. There's support, healing, nurturance, love that could be coming from women, since Venus does rule over women, but in particular here, something related to your stability in terms of resources, support from other folks, whether it's something Mercury or mercurial ruled, like words of affirmation. But I also feel like it's love, it's service, and different insights that'll provide you an avenue forward. There's a lot at this time, though, that you may want to do or change differently in your life, especially wherever you have Pisces and even Taurus, because these are the 2 points that are connecting. And something that I noted here was there are messages coming through that you may not want to hear, but they are exactly what you need to know or consider at this time that are going to allow you to move forward. So really, this week is a huge week of falling back into that yin feminine energy, that emotional, sensitive Piscean energy of surrendering, detaching. Think about it like a bubble. When you blow bubbles, you don't chase them. You don't try to change the shape of the bubbles. Maybe when you're a kid you did, but as an adult, right? We look and allow the bubbles to move and to go up or to dissipate. Same thing with this energy. A lot of this energy this week is a lot about being receptive and allowing, even if we don't understand, like, or agree with what we are hearing, sensing, receiving. On the 8th, we have Mercury in Pisces conjoining Neptune in Pisces. I just got explosive messages here coming together, and this isn't bad. So they conjoin at 27 degrees before Mercury exits Pisces shortly after and ingresses into Aries. More on that in a sec. And it'll be good for Mercury because it doesn't have debility or dignity in Aries, but in Pisces it's not doing its best. Mercury's just like, okay, I'm going to let the waters just take me. We'll go with it. So expect some fast forward movement coming shortly later on this week. There are, again, I kept getting a confluence of psychic messages that you may not understand or fully be able to unravel or visualize and see, yes, I know where I can apply this in which area of my life. You're receiving puzzle pieces, big ones here, that are potent. And so again, strong emphasis here on your spiritual practice and connection. And if you haven't, because what I've noticed is with folks that don't really have a practice in place, they're all over the place. They're confused. They're wondering what the hell these things mean, or whether or not they can trust what they're receiving. That's why it's important. You may be getting creative downloads. Again, intuitive downloads, psychic messages coming through, knowings. You know those sudden knowings when things just click? Could be in the weirdest places possible, and you're just like, oh, I got the answer. It's like universal Q&As that you may have with your spiritual team. They're coming into fruition. Also, a lot of puzzle pieces or different elements of your life, your future life especially, are coming into being, so you may receive them. Think about how you receive messages. Some people are clairaudient, so you may hear things through music, through other people's stories, through songs, You could be clairvoyant, so you may receive these messages like a movie, through dreams, etc. You're going to get these clips. I call them movie clips, almost like seeing trailers beforehand that are going to come into you, almost for you to be like, okay, I got this. Let me get used to it. Let me make sure my body feels in sync, because there's an emotional, psychic receptivity and also sensitivity, that is almost required, like a prereq before this could fully download into the material world, in the physical reality. So remember, Venus is exalted in Pisces here, but she's currently in Aquarius, and Mercury is in Pisces, so they're in aversion to one another. Think of them like next door neighbors. Mercury can't really see fully what Venus is up to, but we know that there's support being lent here with Pisces, or in Pisces, I should say. So just be very open this week. Again, I kept getting a Q&A. When you have answers, clarifications, questions that you have been swirling around or thinking about or wanting some type of resolution, this is a great week to put those out there, and almost like, okay, I put them out there. That was my job. That's it. Now I'm going to receive. These are the main areas that popped up for me. So some of you that I'm connecting to are clearly clairaudient and also clairvoyant, but that doesn't mean you don't have other clairs, claircognizance, clairsentience, clairgustance, clairalience, etc. Film, cinema, music, movies, communications through other people, or hearing it, like a secondary, third party type of thing. Knowledge, books, podcasts, articles, social media. You will get messages, whatever it is that you are wanting clarity on, through these means. So again, these are like little trailers. Before a movie comes out, you get a sneak peek. This is exactly it. March 4th through the 6th, so the first 3 days of this week, we have the third quarter moon moving through Sagittarius and Capricorn. So the first part of this week is about receiving guidance, and it'll continue to rev up and amp up. And there's a lot of information here that we are getting, and also marinating it, because we are being asked to reflect, to reassess, to reorganize, and then finally to release. So you see a lot of R's, because we are coming in to the juncture of a new moon at the end of this week in Pisces. So there's a lot of asking ourselves, okay, let's do a check-in. That's why I started doing check-ins. They're very helpful, because we are moving at such an incredibly fast pace. I do not remember a time in my life, and perhaps because I'm an adult now versus being a child, I don't ever recall a point in my own life as a human where things are just speeding up as fast as they are. I just remember it was Monday last week, and then now we're here at another Monday. So this is a point of contact for you to check in with yourself and where you're at, and what is feeling good for you, what you're having to release, etc. These are themes that are constantly repeating, if you've noticed. Weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. It's a cycle we all go through as humans. So this third quarter moon in Sagittarius, it's about gaining wisdom, seeing the light. Sagittarius, remember, is a fire sign, a double-bodied or mutable sign. So you will see a dual nature here being presented. A lot of focus on connecting to something higher that you may be receiving, but also shifting or changing into, because we're constantly growing. We don't stay the same. And if you're feeling stagnant, this is going to provide a lot of illumination towards you. I kept seeing light, and I feel, for those of you that are connected to me and have known me, I tend to speak very slow. Sometimes I pause and I look out. I can imagine you guys on the other side of the screen saying, Christine, just say it. I have been speaking really fast because I'm channeling a lot of messages, and I'm feeling this push to get out so much information, and it's overwhelming me. So I just want to say that too here. There's a rapidity happening with all of these shifts coming through. So you'll notice that very quickly, because the moon moves very quickly. That's why I mentioned these. The third quarter moon in Capricorn, earthy, cardinal, or tropical. It's one that initiates, that starts, that tends to take the lead. Even though Capricorn is a feminine energy, because all earth signs and water signs are feminine, the action of taking initiative is a masculine energy. So we're talking about taking practical, tangible steps in your reality here to build towards what it is you want and to release towards what it is you don't. So there's a lot of things that are happening together. From March 7th through the 9th, we are in the Balsamic Moon phase, or otherwise known as the waning crescent phase, right before we get to the new moon in Pisces on the 10th. So this Balsamic phase will be going through Aquarius and Pisces before the new moon. So something is wrapping up here, and it's ending right before this lunation peaks early in the morning on March 10th. And again, it's going to vary for everyone. It could be a belief system, a knowing that, you know what, it's time I do things differently in this Piscean area of my life. You will know it because depending on your own charts, you will know specifically what it is that you are looking to change, release, update. Sometimes with new moons, you're not releasing anything like, okay, I'm done with my healthy eating. You're just changing things. That's it. Incorporating new information, receiving new information, and upgrading that, or adding something else. So huge time around this point of the week with the balsamic phase of being in that receptive mode of perhaps resting, connecting more into your spiritual practices, taking time to honor yourself and meet your needs wherever you are, and asking yourself, what do I need at this time? Giving yourself that attention. And receiving. Receiving is a huge theme this week. For some of you, it's interesting because like most of the folks I connect to, receiving is one of the issues that they have difficulty with. And it's hard to receive when you're not feeling good because you're wanting to control. There's an issue here around security and feeling stable and knowing that things are going to come or culminate or come to fruition in the way that you want. So this is why I say this week, find some element to connect to daily that's going to ground you and that makes you feel good in some way. It could be a brief walk, standing outside with fresh air, putting on a song to dance to, taking a 5-minute break to doodle, prayer, meditation, reading a book, laying down on the carpet or floor, taking a break and getting in your car if you have to work outside of the home or with people, whatever it is. Find a practice this week, no matter how small you think it is, because it's going to help you. This is also a time of inaction or no action. It doesn't mean you're going to sit on the couch. It'd be great if we could just pause life. It doesn't work that way. Not about really starting new stuff, but again, being receptive and open to what's coming in and the messages you're receiving. I highly recommend documenting any messages you get. I'm in the works of creating something for you all about documenting the spiritual, psychic, intuitive downloads that you're getting. It's going to be important because again, a lot of the pieces that you get in different points of your soul journey, sometimes you don't need that piece right away. It's kind of like squirrels. You know when they forage or get ready for for winter, and a lot of animals are like this that hibernate. But when animals are getting ready for winter, you see them active right before the winter sets. And for squirrels, what I've noticed, and I never knew this, they take their nuts and they put it in the ground and they bury it. Similar to that effect here. Some of the messages you're getting, you may not need right away. And so in effect, when you write it down or journal it, or even use like an audio recording device, or if you prefer videotaping yourself, because there's all different methods, you are burying that messages for the moment being, but you are using that moment to capture what it is that is coming through. And I kid you not, it'll make sense to you at a later point in time if it doesn't make sense to you at this moment. I kept getting to one person's foot being in the past and another in the future. So some of you are ending things, culminating a big point in your life with relationships. Could be different events or positions, jobs, schooling. Something is ending and you have one foot still in the past and another one in the future. So you are straddling different timelines right now. And it's almost like being in that space of, okay, I'm not completely in the point where I want to be, but I'm almost there. So this is an area in time of cleaning up. Check out the house and sign, the house that Pisces rules over, because I'm just giving you the sign right now. And where Uranus is, that's Taurus as well, because these are some major themes. Uranus and Mercury are playing a big role this week in different alignments. Huge emphasis on trust. I can't overemphasize that. I almost said that wrong. Huge element of trust in the Pisces season and in this week as we enter this Piscean month and then go into Aries in a few weeks. A lot of the things that we want clarity on, we may not be finding that right now, or we're getting them in snippets and it's like it doesn't make sense. Collectively, I'll say, because again, if you're a Pisces rising, for example, or you have particular points or bodies, or you're celebrating your solar return, it's going to be different. It may be a whole fresh new year for you in your own solar return, so it's going to be different. But collectively, the energies with Pisces are a lot about releasing, surrendering, being open to what is coming in. And this week is no different because you're getting a lot of things from outside of your earthly senses. But we do have Uranus coming in, shaking and waking us up and saying, oh, wait, don't forget me. So there is going to be a lot of changes. It could be for some internal, and many it's going to be external because of Uranus in Taurus. I kept getting a lot of tears as well. I want to say that for any of you that are feeling extra emotional, great week to cleanse. I'll say Pisces season in general. Detoxify. And that's going to mean something different. It could be decluttering your space, decluttering your heart space, getting any stagnant energy out, especially by communicating, etc. There's a lot being released here, and because we're making space for revelations that are coming through. Okay, on the 9th, we have Mars in Aquarius, squaring Uranus in Taurus. We have the Sun in Pisces, sextiling Uranus in Taurus. And then we have Mercury entering Aries. So it's leaving its detriment and fall, or exile, some people say, in lieu of detriment. So Mars square Uranus, I immediately got a sudden rupture. You know when you're driving happily, and I always use driving, doesn't mean you have to know how to drive, but you're in a car, you're riding with someone, and it's all going well. All of a sudden the brakes go on and you're like, shit, what happened? I immediately saw that in a vision with Mars square Uranus. There's a sudden rupture here, a sudden ending or breakthroughs around jobs, relationships, beliefs, or anything that doesn't allow you freedom to innovate or move forward. It's almost like this alignment is asking you to reconsider and say, wait a minute, something, we have to put a stopper here and put a pause here, whether it's an impasse or some type of temporary conflict or challenge here, because this is challenging. Uranus is a very potent energy that happens without really planning. Spontaneous, we don't really know. Mars too, depending on the octave that you're operating in, can come out pretty temperamental, harsh, rash, aggressive as well. So it's going to be important to discern, become aware, and realize what or who is keeping me stuck here. Where's that? I call it door stopper energy, because there's something where Uranus is like trying to squeeze through and get the door stopper out. This is what's happening here. And that's why I kept saying and mentioning and referring to a lot of the receptive energy, allowing, trust, feminine yin energy, and receiving, because that's the element we're all being asked to tap into this week. Because some of you may experience situations where you're being asked not to do a damn thing. It's like take a step back and allow things to unfold, because sometimes when you hurry in, especially with that Mars energy, it could do more damage than necessary. It could cause conflict. You may say things you later regret. It may come from that sudden fear of insecurity that arises when you're like, oh my gosh, I just got this notice. There's a period here of simply being aware. Of course, please always practice your own intuitive discernment here and make sure that you are always safe and protect yourself. There's a lot of energy here around individual expression and growth, because if you are keeping something that's wanting to get bigger, grow, expand in a smaller space, a container, think of like a plant that wants to become a tree, it'll either stagnate or die. Same thing when you have a puppy. Imagine you get a little puppy and it's a 200-pound dog. It will not flourish in a little cage. So there's something here that's asking, it's time to grow here. Something to keep in mind too, Uranus has reception in Aquarius. That's where we see Mars currently in. So there's a break or a breakthrough coming that's going to offer a sense of security, stability, a sense of embodiment that feels good and aligns with your values, but it could look very differently than what you're used to. And we've been seeing this pattern with Uranus in Taurus, and it could be sudden. Both of these energies, Mars and Uranus, can be quite sudden and perhaps harsh. Since we have the Taurian and Aquarian energy here, these could revolve around themes collectively dealing with social connections, relationships, especially love, technology, sensuality, and a whole sense of, it's time to elevate this to the next level. We have the Sun sextile in Uranus. Again, This is about individuating with love. I kept getting this. We're shining in new, different ways, and that may feel uncomfortable. It's like stepping in to a new persona, a new identity, especially where you want to go. And there's a period of acclimation. But there is support here, because with some of the steps in the preceding weeks we've been getting, it's time to change things up. It's time to follow a path that is going to allow you to grow expansively, to grow in new ways, to learn new things, to go a higher octave. There's a sense of strengthening yourself, your identity, your persona, who you are. It could be your career, your ambition, relationship with father figures, etc. There's a deeply nourishing, sensitive, compassionate wave coming through here. So the Taurian theme, which is Venus ruled, and then the sun here, which is ruled by Pisces here. You have a lot of elements which are similar, because Venus is exalted in Pisces, but a lot of themes around love, feeling, embodiment, sensuality, relationships, and simply honoring how you're wanting to progress in life in a way that still feels good to you. Finally, we have Mercury entering Aries. Again, no debility or dignity here, but expect communication to be at a faster pace, quick, perhaps impulsive at times, communication as well. You may be conversing with others or in a more, it's quick. There's a lot of initiatives. I said that weird. There's a lot of initiative taking, learning things quickly, absorbing information, but no fluff. I kept seeing a bone, but there wasn't any meat on it. So something that was coming up repeatedly was a sense of impatience, because remember, Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is the co-ruler of not just Aries, but also Scorpio. And with those two signs, in general, there's a sense of, in different ways, of wanting to know what it is they need to know, but without all the extra fluff. And so for Aries, it's because the energy is very eager to start something, to initiate. It's a youthful, young energy. There's excitement here. It's like, okay, let's get going. Just give me what I need to know and let's do it. With Scorpio, it's different. They just want the damn truth. No BS, no hiding. They can sniff it out. Just be honest and let's do it. So be careful of that impulsivity or that impatience that may arise in mercurial themes, especially wherever Aries is in your chart, whichever house it is, I should say. I also kept getting themes around new projects with books, publishing, podcasts, social media. It could be YouTube channels, for instance, or any of those types of video channels, marketing, presenting yourself in ways that allow communication to be dispersed, transmission, but that's not the right word, to be spread out. Anything dealing with movement as well, like workouts, exercises, planning new trips, going on sudden trips as well. On March 10th, we have the new moon in Pisces happening at 5 in the morning, early in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. Separate video coming on this, but there's a lot of focus on majorly trusting yourself here. I have major ass trust here. There's a level of faith that we are being asked to undertake here. That's why there's a strong undercurrent of that yin feminine energy that I was feeling all week, and that just goes along with the Pisces energy too, which is a feminine water sign. There's something here that is working out that you can't see or fully understand yet, and we won't know. And I say this because we're about to head into the spring equinox. Aries season is going to be starting soon. The spring equinox or autumnal equinox, the initiation of a new cycle. We are receiving more light, figuratively and literally. Also, this is the start of the astrological new year. Pisces and Aries, they're an aversion to one another wherever they are in your chart. It doesn't matter what house they rule over in your natal chart. They can't see one another. So there's a lot of things we can't see that are starting yet. At this time, we may not understand. And we can get information through other means, but to keep it simple for this weekly forecast, there's a lot of elements that are coming up here about leaning into surrendering to the divine, to our spiritual team, putting that energy towards connection to the unseen, to the unknown, having faith. This is the perfect time to have a mantra, especially if you've been dealing with any difficulties, challenges, or things are kind of going all over the place like a ping pong ball. have a mantra that really keeps you grounded and secure. Like, things are always working out for me. I know, and you can put in like a spiritual team member's name, whether it's an ancestor, it could be God, universe, divine. I know so-and-so is always by my side supporting me. I'm always supported by XYZ. Something here about that, because things are going to be illuminated to you during this new moon. I also want to quickly mention the sun and moon with this lunation. They're making a trine to Uranus at 20 degrees and 19 degrees each respectively. So whatever is coming through, it's a big opening here that's going to lead to major changes. And this is connected, almost like setting the foundation for the eclipse season. So think about an area of your life that's stagnant, or that you've been waiting to see some type of change, or that you are wanting to initiate change. Because more than likely this is something, it's almost like the carpet, the red carpet's rolling out, but you're not going to see anyone on that red carpet for a little bit. You're like, okay, something's coming, but I don't see it. I feel like this is going to promise a breakthrough again in something that you may not have thought you needed, but that's necessary for your growth in your soul journey. It's going to lead you to higher, more stable growth, more fulfillment, perhaps a redirection, almost as if GPS. Imagine you get off the wrong exit and you see your GPS calculating. It's like that here. Because with Uranus energy, most folks don't plan for Uranus unless you can look ahead with different timing techniques, right? And then you can say, oh, okay, I can see Uranus coming here. But holding all things constant, most of these spontaneous epiphanies, breakthroughs that come through, it's not something we plan for. And there's a purpose and there's a reason for that. On the 10th, we have Mercury in Aries sextiling Pluto in Aquarius, and this is about diving deep. A lot of themes, again, like I mentioned earlier, I won't rehash them, a lot of themes about the unseen, about connecting to something deeper. There's a lot of mental activity, intellectual activity, learning, conversations, communications, travel that are taking a deeper profundity that goes below the surface this week. A lot of youthful energy and new starts with Mercury and Aries because of their significations, or its significations that represents children, or the youth, I should say. New starts, new beginnings, and also with changes with how you relate and connect to young people, children, your inner child, and women in your life. These may be other themes that come up. Overall, deep connection to the unknown, to the unseen this week. Coming up, we have Venus entering Pisces on the 11th of March, and we have the Sun conjoining Neptune on the 17th of March. Okay, you guys, there's a lot to pack in there, and I really wanted to give you more practical, again, and I'm trying to make this practical because I feel like if there's any way to teach this to you in a different way, those would be separate videos. I'm trying to make these videos, these forecasts, very practical, relatable. If there's things you want to see, I would love to hear your feedback. I truly value what you all have to say. It helps me so much because, again, I sometimes feel like I'm operating in a void. It's just me looking at the camera and I'm like, is this, am I the only one seeing this? That type of energy. So if there's things that would be helpful, including more examples, maybe real life examples, comment down below. I would be forever grateful to you. Let's get into the tarot. I have two oracle cards, a Starseed Oracle and the Shapeshifters Oracle, and we are going to take a look and see what other messages you need to know for this week. This month is prime time for really either starting, nourishing, or continuing to cultivate your own psychic gifts. Huge month. I've had a lot of channels open with mine to a lot of different realms, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I really want to give everyone affirmation. At least for me, these are my beliefs, I believe everyone has psychic gifts. To what degree or magnitude, that's going to vary for everyone for so many reasons. Social conditioning, context, trust in self, which I constantly talk about. If you don't trust yourself, you're going to have major problems with the messages you receive because you will constantly doubt yourself and you won't believe what is coming through to you. And you will also feed and lean into doubts of others because you will feel it. Okay, what do we need to know? What else is coming up for us this week that we need to be aware of? Doing a 3-card spread. Look what we have at the bottom. Perfectly embodies Pisces. Double-bodied or mutable sign. Duality. We have Page of Wands here. So movement is coming here. Again, this season, I would say the entry into 2024 has been very different than most. Comment down below. I know I'm not the only one. I've had a lot of folks confirm this. We're seeing things move at such a quick pace, and we're learning at an accelerated level. And so moments, this could also tie into your emotions, but this is also how the world works, going through darkness into light. Right now we're in the darkness, leaving it. With the moon, we're going to be entering darkness right before the light comes, but also in terms of the season and astrologically, light is coming here. So we're getting a deeper understanding of who we are, why certain things in our life are happening, whether they're good, positive, negative, whatever it is, because there's something, each of them are relative, but there's also something that they're teaching us. We got the 8 of Wands, fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sag, the Sun card, Leo energy, 5 of Cups, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. There's a shit ton of energy here that I'm feeling with the sun. It's almost like you're revving up, you're warming up. You may be feeling, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, your gears are starting to shift. Almost like a warming. You know, whenever you warm up to a workout, after maybe 5 minutes, you are starting to feel that heat. Or maybe when you're accelerating onto the highway, your car starts to gradually get, faster. This is what I'm feeling here. The movement forward this week, you may be feeling it, especially in areas where you want clarity and you want light and you're like, I need answers now. But like I said before, this isn't the week to receive them in the way that you want. It's going to come a lot through the spiritual realm, through the psychic realm, through the intuitive downloads that you're getting. And I feel like you're going to get a lot of energy is coming, and it's going to really illuminate these areas. Some of you are going to get epiphanies, like I mentioned. It's going to be incredibly healing. Again, another theme that's been mentioned. But this is also too lighting up different paths in your life. For some of you, this is about your soul destiny. A lot of folks I've been connecting to have been really focused on what's my purpose here, my soul destiny, what am I here to do, why the hell am I here? A book that has been resoundingly connecting to me and that I've come back to because I've read it several times is the book by Viktor Frankl, and I know I've mentioned it a few times, Man's Search for Meaning. I suggest, for me, it connected to me when you are experiencing challenges, but also looking for quote unquote meaning in your life. That book really helps to frame a lot of things and put things into perspective. And a lot of times you find what it is you're looking for in the moments you least expect them, in the darkness when there's not light. Because you come out of the tunnel in the light and you feel differently. And a lot of this has to do also with mindset. Remember that. Because that's the underlying tone with this book. So many of you are shifting your mindset too as you are simultaneously releasing, reorganizing, reassessing, healing, settling things from your past and your present and your future. There's a lot of, this week, there's more momentum forward in the psychic intuitive realms, spiritual realms. But I feel they're harbingers. They're very beautiful, positive harbingers that you don't expect. So there's an element here of patience. Remember the duality card? Things are working, you just may not see what's cooking. You may not see what's baking behind the scenes. So have a lot of patience this week. The Sun card is an amazing card. Fortuitous, I would say lucky, if you believe in that. Blessings, opportunities, warmth. Just imagine being out on a sunny day and you feel the warmth on your body. That's a very tangible way to feel the effects of healing. It's also fire, a lot of fire. Fire is initiation. It's also about creation. So this week, the messages you're receiving are also prompting to you. I said that wrong, I think, in English. Are also prompting you to ask yourself, what do I wish to create in my life, in the season of my life, right now, or what's coming up, maybe an Aries season? How do I want my life to look like? A lot of questions about birth creation coming through. We finally have the 5 of Cups. Again, a lot of these energies are in line with what I've already said. Major releasing. There's healing too and closure. Some of you are getting closure from past events, dealing with things that may have led to disappointment. Things didn't go the way that you want. They didn't pan out. It's interesting because this is water energy, but I keep getting a lot of earth energy, especially Virgo and Taurus. So there's a sense of purity, of cleansing, of connecting to the earth, Mother Earth, Gaia, yourself. Some of you may benefit from putting yourself outside with grass, nature, around animals, plants, maybe a botanical garden, wherever you can be outside in connection to the divine. You can just sit on the bench or just stand. Something about being outside to cleanse you. Emotional release is coming. 5 in numerology, many times it does signify some type of shift or change coming to this element in your life that deals with healing, closure, but also overall to your life trajectory. There's here about releasing and letting go of things that did not lead to the fulfillment that you want. So you will know what this means, because this is very personal in everyone's life. A lot of this has to do with wishes, dreams, and we get that with the Neptune conjoining Mercury, but also with many of these themes that have been coming up. Dreams that have gone unmet, whether with other people, relationships, or life goals, jobs, careers, volunteer, hobbies, pleasures, whatever it is that you may be focused on. Something here about dreams, letting go of that. That doesn't mean you let go of that larger goal or aspiration, but doing that dream differently, because whatever it is that you may have tried to do, there was no fulfillment in the way that you want. So this week, many of you, think about it this way. Say you have a goal. Something that I've been receiving a lot of info is love in relationships. A lot of people are focused on connecting to others, whether it's through platonic, friendships or community, or building community connection, places and spaces of belonging, or love romantic relationships. That's been a focal point. Just because I'm saying it's time to release that dream's not coming true, it's not so much that dream, like what I just said, of making connections or getting into a loving relationship. It's the way you went about doing that. It's time to do something different. So tap into the Uranus energy. Take a look at where Taurus is in your natal chart, and you'll be able to see how you can utilize it in different ways, but largely speaking also too, depending on the themes, like I mentioned, because you may not have Taurus in 7th house or 5th house or even 8th house. It could be in 11th house, for instance, with signs of ally supporters, but you get the gist. This is about doing things in a different way. So you're going to get glimpses, pay attention. Shitload of messages coming through, you guys. I get like pummeled energy. You may wake up having had a dream that may turn out to be a prophecy or give you glimpses of things that are to come for yourself. So let go. That's the thing. When we want something so badly and we're like, it has to go this way, or it has to be with this person, or it has to be with this job, we hold on. And sometimes it can still happen, but not in that way that you think it has to happen. So bottom line here, I hope you're getting the message here. This isn't a week of being receptive, backing the F off, leaning into your practices of prayer, of meditation. I'm going to be releasing some videos on like getting your spiritual shit together, because that's been calling to me. A lot of folks that I've worked with and have come across that really want to harness and strengthen their psychic skills have been dealing with that. And it's so important to have those elements in place. And what I've noticed is spiritual practices, because I'm very practical, even though I work with different realms, I'm practical. I don't spend 20 hours, in meditation out there. Everyone is busy, so it's important you adapt this to your life. You guys take a look at some of my other lunation videos and weekly energy forecasts, because everyone's on different timelines, and not every week is going to be linear or perhaps in correlation to your soul journey. And this may give you insights, golden nuggets, and also allow you to perceive and reflect on things in a different way. So I'll link them somewhere, wherever. They'll appear here. Thank you guys for being here. Comment down below. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe. The best way that you can support this channel is to hit the thumbs up button, engage with me, offer feedback, even a thank you, a heart, an emoji, an animal. I welcome it. I absolutely love and adore you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you soon. Take care.